That's the initial reaction. Welcome into Phillies PostGame Live presented by Auto Insurance. I'm Taryn Hatcher. He's Ruben Morrow Jr. The silver lining, the Phillies they've tied the 1976 Phillies franchise record for road winning streak at 13. The bad news is that they did not break it today. Their winning streak on the road comes to an end at 13 as they fall to the Marlins 5-3 in this middle game of a 3-game series. And Ruben, you mentioned the word clunky before. I feel like that really captures the essence of today's game. Where do you think things really went wrong here, if you could pinpoint it?
Yeah, I don't think Ranger Suarez was all that sharp, and actually Braxton Garrett wasn't all that sharp either. I thought it would be a little bit better pitcher's duel between those two left-handers, and it's just about the offense. I mean, it basically sputtered after the second inning. 2 singles after the second inning, and you're just not going to get it done for a team that's supposed to be offensively minded. They just could not put anything together after the second inning, and that's basically the name of the game. This is a team that needs to hit better and needs to have more production. They just didn't do it tonight. And
I like what Tom and John said, that they can start a new one tomorrow. Now, the other big headline coming out of today's game happened in the third inning. Bryce Harper hit by a 90-mile-per-hour pitch in that surgically repaired elbow. Ruben, if you're in that front office or in Rob Thompson's shoes, A, how concerned are you right now? He did stay on to run bases after he got hit. And B, what is your approach? Because you do have some flexibility now that Derek Hall is available once again. What would be your approach if Bryce isn't available for a little bit here?
I got to believe that he's going to take the day off anyway. Luzardo's pitching tomorrow. Tough left-hander, throws very hard. And the way he came out of the game, it was obvious that he was in serious pain. I would have been very concerned if I was sitting in the front office right now, and I'm concerned. I mean, it is a surgically repaired elbow that he got drilled on. I don't think, and I'm hopeful that we get some sort of update on what's going on with him here from Rob Thompson. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm glad that they have a break, because he's going to need a couple of days after getting plunked there.
Yeah, we will hear from Rob Thompson coming up later in the show, and we're hoping that we'll get an update from him at that time. But for now, let's head out to Miami to hear from John Kruk, who, of course, is on the call for today's game. John, since you apparently have the best eyes in all of baseball, that you could see a blue mark on someone's wrist from up in the booth, how concerned were you initially when Bryce got hit, and how concerned are you right now about what the Phillies can do if he's not available for a little bit here?
Well, you know, Taryn, I am concerned because, you know, that is a surgically repaired elbow. Hopefully it has nothing to do with the Tommy John surgery that he had in the offseason. Because if you've ever gotten hit by anything in the point of your elbow, dear Lord, does that hurt. I mean, just, you know, people want to know what it feels like. Just have someone grab a hammer, stick your elbow out and bend it, and then have someone whack you right on the point of the elbow. That's what it feels like. Hopefully that's all that it was with Bryce, and it, you know, has nothing to do with the surgery that he had this offseason.
John, it's Ruben. I was wondering, what's your feeling
Ruben,
on
Ruben?
Yes.
Ruben, I know it's you.
Thank you. Just wanted to know if Ranger Suarez. What about Ranger Suarez, and what are you feeling about him? Because the last couple of times out, I just don't see him real sharp with his overall fastball command.
Well, but you know, Ruben, it's not only he's not sharp. What did he walk 4 today? It's like a season high for him.
Yep.
At 3 or 4. But you know, there's something going on because he's, you know, that ball that Segura hit between his legs, you know, he makes that play in his sleep. The bunt pop up that you know, Hampson popped up to him and he missed that. That's just not Ranger. So there's got to be something going on that we don't know about, that we're not told about, and hopefully, you know, till next weekend. I guess he's going to probably have to pitch against San Diego next weekend. So, you know, he's going to get a lot of days off, and hopefully, you know, whatever's going on with Ranger, it gets fixed by not doing anything.
John, it's Taryn. Question for you.
Amy? Wait, is that Amy?
No, it's Taryn.
Taryn.
I know we sound and look eerily similar, but it is in fact me still. It felt like after last night, everyone was riding such a high. The way it was Christian Pache coming in and getting it done, down to 2 outs in the ninth, able to bounce back. It really felt like this team was feeling the momentum of their situation and what they were able to accomplish. Today felt like it could potentially be something very deflating. How do you avoid that happening? How do you get back up tomorrow? You've got Nola on the mound tomorrow. You mentioned Luzardo on the mound as well. How do the Phillies try to pick themselves back up before you don't want to go into the All-Star break, I'd imagine, on a slight lull?
You know, when you're talking to these players, they never mention that they talk about this road winning streak and, you know, getting to 13 to tie the record. Hopefully today they would have gotten to 14 to break the record. But you saw that last night when Christian Pache hit that home run. I mean, these guys were going ballistic down there in the bullpen. And sometimes when you have an emotional win like that, the next day you do come out flat. And you know, that's what we saw today with the Phillies offense. It came up flat. And look, when your guy goes down, you know, your number one guy like Bryce, you know, and he's, you know, I know Nick's having a great year and Stott and Bohm and all those guys, you know, they're having great years. But, you know, Bryce is in the middle of that lineup for a reason because he's a game changer. But, you know, and sometimes when he goes down like he did today in the third inning, you know, what did Ruben? They had 2 singles, right?
Yeah.
After the second inning. I don't know if that coincides with Bryce having to leave the game, but, you know, sometimes when you're one of your big guns leave the game, you think you have to do more than what you're capable of to make up for it. So hopefully everything settles down tonight and they go back to what got them on this winning streak, and that was clutch hitting, you know, great bullpen work, and hopefully tomorrow, tough customer in Luzardo though, but I mean, hopefully tomorrow they can get to him early and Aaron can cruise like he pitch like he did in Tampa.
John, it's Ruben again.
Okay.
Hey,
Ben, are you Ben?
Were you surprised that Soto
I'm
or
surprised
Alvarado?
I'm surprised you told me you were Ruben. First of all,
Did you
the
think
first time, the second time I know you were joking. The first time, I'm just.
Sometimes you
what to
forget,
say.
John. Sometimes you forget.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh my God.
Were you surprised that Soto or Alvarado did not face a rise there towards the end of the game in that crucial situation?
Yeah, I thought, you know, we were thinking that maybe, you know, someone was getting up, but like we didn't even see Marte warming up. We didn't even know who was coming in because you can't really see the bullpen down here. And, you know, we didn't know who was warming up. And then the next thing you know, Marte's coming in the game. And, you know, you're like, oh, boy, what next? But, you know, that's the problem you have, you know, when you're managing, when the best hitter on the other team gets a day off, you have to figure out a way to be prepared in case he comes up. But now with this, you know, you have to face 3 batter thing. And, you know, I don't think I would ever let him face another righty till tomorrow when he faces Aaron 2 or 3 times. But if it gets later in the game, they got to have Alvarado or Soto ready for him.
All right, John Kruk, thank you very much for your time, for allowing us to...
Amy, Ben, appreciate it.
Also, thank you for that dating app analogy in terms of the...
Isn't that crazy?
That was solid.
You got a good laugh out of it.
Very solid.
You didn't make eye contact.
You're going to get a hand slap, John.
I don't care.
He's got the best eyes in the business, the best analogies, and the best insight, John Clark, and the best Crocs. John Kruk, thank you very much. Oh, this is as much of a mess as the beginning of the game. Okay. All right, let's move right along. John, thank you. All right, let's take a look at these road winning streaks for the Phillies. We mentioned the Phils last night were able to tie the franchise record. Tonight, unable to break that tie and move into sole possession of the franchise record. We talked with John Rubin a little bit about how much that emotional high can lead to kind of an emotional hangover the next day. Do you think that's maybe what happened here a little bit?
I don't think so necessarily. I just didn't think that they were sharp. I mean, obviously, Ranger Suarez just didn't throw all that well and was not sharp. I'm a little concerned about Ranger over the last couple of outings that his fastball command just hasn't been very good. John thought that there was something wrong with him. I think it's more focus than anything else, and typically he is. he went through a stretch in June when he was throwing the baseball. I was doing some of the coverage on those broadcasts where he was just on point with his fastball command and his command of all of his pitches. I just didn't see him establish that in the early part of the game. And then after the second inning, I mean, the Phillies sort of fell flat as far as their offense is concerned. And, hey, this happens. This is a very good Miami Marlins team. There's no question about it. They keep grinding out at bats. They're tough. They play very good defense. It didn't start off very pretty because defensively and on the base paths, there was a lot of action going on that I didn't really agree with. It wasn't very good. But ultimately, I mean, this Miami Marlins team, they've been grinding it out. They're playing pretty good baseball.
All right, let's take it now to Rob Thompson, who has an update on Bryce Harper for us.
How's Bryce?
He's okay. X-ray's negative.
Okay.
He's sore though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's scary, you know. Guy gets hit on the elbow like that. It's pretty scary, but he's okay.
And he wears like the brace underneath, like the.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He doesn't. That's enough. You guys feel like that, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, he just got hit in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, will you play? Or-
We'll see. We'll see in the morning.
So it's not even, you wouldn't even call it, I know sometimes you guys say it's a contusion, is it bruise, is it a contusion or a bruise or just sore?
He
Well, then
doesn't bruise. He doesn't swell. Have you heard that story?
We've learned that, yeah, yeah. We've learned that.
So like earlier in the season there was the
What?
No, keep going. Sorry.
so early in the season there was stuff about how like before he was cleared to slide there was the risk of like rupturing it that way. Is it the same thing with a hit by pitch, or was that not as big of like concern I guess for you guys when he was?
Yeah, I don't think that's. I mean, getting hit on the elbow is always a concern, but I don't think that was as big of an issue as sliding and throwing and things like that.
What'd you kind of make of Rangers' command today? It didn't seem like it was his.
Yeah, 4 walks. Didn't get ahead in the count a lot, but he battled. You know, got us into the 6th and without his best stuff. So.
And that, he makes that play probably 999
Oh
times
yeah,
out of 1,000.
all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys felt like you were hitting Garrett, really hitting him hard the first few innings. Did you kind of feel like you had a big inning in you at some point?
Yeah, I did. You know, we really got his pitch count up early, and battled and grinded. And I felt like we were going to break out at some point. Just didn't.
Do you think if Kyle's? I know he's limited in terms of speed, but if he's running there on that little back to the pitcher, he makes it.
Yeah, that might change the inning right there.
Yeah. And with Marte, you kind of pushed him. I'm guessing you didn't have a few guys today in your bullpen,
Yeah.
or you were just
We were down 3:
okay.
Kimbrel, Alvarado, and Hoffman.
Okay.
What was your reaction to the news about Kimbrel going to the?
Oh, excited. 9th. That's his 9th All-Star game in the list. Chris gave me a list to read in front of the players. List of pitchers that have been to the All-Star game 9 times or more is just, I mean, it's just Hall of Fame. So I'm really happy for him, and he's excited too. So.
When did you find that out today?
Yes, this morning.
This morning they called you?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're not going to bury the lead here. Rob Thompson confirmed that X-rays came back negative, and as he pointed out, and Ruben mentioned here off camera, it is astonishing the way Bryce doesn't bruise, doesn't swell. We know he came back in, I mean, it felt like lightning speed from the surgery to begin with.
Yeah.
And Thompson also said, I think it was Corey who asked the question about obviously sliding and throwing has been a real concern when it comes to Bryce and not pushing it so he won't rupture that tendon again. But getting hit by a pitch, while it's always a concern, it's not kind of in that same lane where you're concerned about a strain or a tear. So good news.
Yeah, probably more of a contusion than anything else. And I mean, and I think John described it very, very well. I mean, it's almost like when you get hit in an elbow like that, and I've been there, it's literally takes you and neutralizes your whole body. It's you talk about funny bone, it's not that funny. And the reality of it is it hurts quite a bit. And you saw that that Bryce was going through a whole bunch of pain. But it's great news that the X-rays were negative, and it is crazy. The guy does not bruise, and and it's an amazing thing. He doesn't swell, none of that. Hopefully he'll be able to play tomorrow. I don't know that he'll play against Luzardo, but at least he'll be available to pinch hit or something like that.